We live? My laptop's a bit of a dick when it's going to tell me whether I'm live or not. Oh, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Well, as you can see from the title of this video, I have a piece of information that's going to annoy vegans everywhere. Specifically people like that vegan teacher, who I see a lot of reaction videos to on YouTube. Apparently she's been banned off TikTok recently. That's very interesting. But apparently she's still on YouTube, and people react to her as well and point out there's a stupidity in the things she says and the contradictions in the things she says. Like how she tells you to change your religion the way you change your underwear. And the eating meat, of course, is murder. Of course, no, it's not. As I mentioned in a previous live stream, eating meat is not murder. Now, I've already mentioned in that previous live stream that human beings are indeed carnivorous. Just because we can eat vegetables and a vegetarian or vegan diet doesn't necessarily mean we should. Because we are physically designed in the way we were created to require meat to survive. And now, before anyone gets any fucking vegetarians or vegans out there get on the high horse and say, no, that's not true, try and point me to all these various different studies that say human beings should actually be vegetarians. All those studies saying that humans should be vegetarians come from organizations like PETA and other pro-vegetarian and vegan organizations. If you look at the actual proper scientific studies of the biology of humanity and how we evolved, you will see quite a different story, and you will see that actually human beings, while choosing to be omnivorous or possibly choosing to be vegetarian or vegan, are actually natural carnivores. I have found certain pieces of information that might give this fact to you all. It is a fact, by the way. Human beings are carnivores. So, yeah, you can stop arguing about that now. Human beings are carnivores. We evolved to be carnivores because our closest ancestor, which I believe is Homo erectus, or it might have even been Homo habilis, one or the other, basically switched to a primarily meat diet. And therefore, as we evolved from them, when they were consuming large amounts of meat, we now require that large amount of meat and the nutrients and stuff we get from meat in order to survive. Human beings are natural, evolutionary carnivores. And if you want to bring religion into it, especially if you want to bring Christianity into it, because there's a lot of people out there on the vegan side who claim to be Christians, and they all say, oh yeah, God doesn't want us to eat meat. God doesn't want us to eat meat. You know, that vegan teacher likes to say, if you eat meat, you'll go to hell. The Bible says to eat meat, by the way. Just throwing it out there. You can find Bible verses and everything where clearly we are told by God, and possibly even by Jesus, to eat meat. So you can't claim to be a devout Christian and be a vegetarian or a vegan, because the Bible tells you to eat meat. And if you are not eating meat, you are not following what God wants you to do. I mean, you might as well go around fucking children and doing all sorts of, murdering people and so on and so forth, and doing you break all the 10 Commandments and whatever, because if the Bible tells you to eat meat and you're not eating meat, well, then you're not really following God's will properly, are you? But anyway, let's get into the first piece of information. I think right up here on the screen. I can't figure out how to show it to you guys yet. I don't know if I could do like screen sharing on this fucking screen thing or anything like that. Maybe someone could tell me how, but I can read it to you, and I can post the link to it in the description if necessary. So, are humans carnivores? You probably think you already know the answer to this. Human beings are omnivores, right? Your elementary school science teacher drilled the classifications into your head. You studied teeth structure, eye location, and the presence of claws or talons in various mammals to decide who ate what. But what if things aren't quite that simple? There's a difference between can and should when it comes to eating meat. That meaning that there are certain creatures out there that can eat meat but don't need to, but there are also other creatures out there that need to eat meat but can choose not to if they're stupid, I suppose, like vegans. But anyway, we'll come back to that. Modern society has provided endless options when it comes to meal times. Yet when we carefully consider what our bodies are designed to eat and what energy source allows us to function optimally, the evidence points to one conclusion. Humans are indeed carnivores. So what is a carnivore? Well, when you think about the word carnivore, what comes to mind? Most people envision a pride of lions hunting zebras in the Serengeti, or zebras if you're American, I suppose. Of course, they would be female lions because the female lions do the hunting. Anyone who's watched The Lion King knows that. But yeah, isolating the weakest member of the herd and savagely ripping its throat with razor-sharp teeth before a bloody feast. In truth, there's a carnivore a little nearer and dearer to all of us. You only need to look in the mirror to catch a glimpse. Humans are carnivores. A carnivore is an organism, mostly animals, that derives its food and energy requirements exclusively, or nearly so, from the tissue and meat of other animals. Carnivore quite literally translates into meat eater from the Latin caro and varora, aurora, varora, fuck me, varore, varore, however you pronounce that, Varorare, varore, sounds like it was some kind of fit. But of course there is more than one type of carnivore. As one might expect, carnivores can be categorized by the importance meat plays in their overall diet. A hypercarnivore or obligate carnivore is an animal that derives more than 70% of its calorie intake from animal foods. A mesocarnivore derives about 50% of essential nutrients from animal foods in order to survive. Animals whose diet is only about 30% meat are called hypocarnivores as opposed to hypercarnivores. And finally, facultative carnivores prioritize the consumption of animal foods but can survive, but not thrive, on vegetables. This includes humans, wolves, and dogs, which is interesting since wolves basically require a meat diet almost exclusively. But anyway, at this point, many of you are probably asking, oh, but I thought humans were omnivores. That's not asking, that's stating, but you know, the way this website's written. While humans do eat just about anything, that doesn't mean we should. It also doesn't mean that our bodies function optimally while we're eating whatever and whenever we want. If the current health crisis of overweight, diabetic, disease, and inflamed Americans is any indication, this was written a few years back, by the way, we most definitely should not be eating everything and anything. In the words of the late great Barry Groves, a true health crusader, civilized man is the only animal clever enough to manufacture its own food, and the only animal stupid enough to eat it. That's about right. So, why is meat a necessity? Our bodies can manufacture a lot of different biomolecules, but not all of them. The ones we can't produce are called essential nutrients. I think I mentioned this in a previous video, which means we must obtain them through diet, or we die. Not surprisingly, all essential nutrients that humans need can be found in animal source foods, and not all essential nutrients can be found in plant source foods. The foods we eat provide the energy necessary for living in the form of calories. We get calories from three main sources: carbohydrates, protein, and fat. Now, going back to the previous sentence here, not surprisingly, all essential nutrients can be found in animal source foods, and not all essential nutrients can be found in plants. That means we are meant to eat meat. We are carnivores. If you choose not to eat meat and have a vegetarian or vegan based diet, you must supplement the nutrients that you're not getting from the meat by taking vitamin and mineral supplements. Right? Which means if you want to have a healthy vegan diet, right, then not only do you have to eat a lot of plants, well, obviously a lot of plants, but a lot of fruits and vegetables, but you need specific mineral supplements that you will have to take on a daily basis. So yes, you can live as a vegan for as long as you like. You can live as a vegetarian for as long as you like, but you need to be having these essential nutrients through vitamin and mineral supplements. So ask yourself this question. Do you want to get all your essential vitamins and minerals and nutrients because you have a bit of bacon and a bit of sausage or a bit of beef every now and then? Or do you want to go strictly meat free, live only on fruits, vegetables, and nuts and things, right? And have to take vitamin supplements every day for the rest of your life? I mean, it's bad enough if you have to take certain pills every day for the rest of your life because you might have high blood pressure or something like that, or you might be diabetic or something. What? Right? You have to take things several times a day, every day for the rest of your life, right? It's never going to go away. Do you want to have to take various mineral and vitamin supplements that you could easily get just from eating some fucking bacon or any other kind of meat? Or do you want to just eat the meat like we're supposed to do in the first place? Human beings are carnivores. We are designed to require what we can get from meat. That fucking one sentence said it all. But I will continue. DHA, otherwise known as docosahexaenoic acid, is critical for brain function and makes up to 20% of the fat in our brains. It allows for neural connectivity and protects our nerves. Only animal source foods provide DHA in sufficient quantities. In addition to fatty acids, the brain requires various vitamins and minerals to extract energy and perform other bodily functions. Vitamin A regulates 500 plus genes and stem cell differentiation and is found abundantly in beef liver and eggs. Beta carotene is a vitamin A precursor found in plant foods, but the bioavailability is pitiful compared to preformed vitamin A from meat products. Getting a picture yet, people? B vitamins. B vitamins help convert fuel to energy and create the red blood cells that transport oxygen to our brains and around various other parts of the body. B vitamins can also affect moods. Most people are deficient in vitamin B, which has been linked to depression. Again, beef liver is an abundant source of vitamin B. Vitamin B12 is almost exclusively found in animal products. So you ever wonder why vegetarians and vegans are always a bit depressed and a bit fucking mental? Because they're not getting the essential vitamins that they need from meat in high enough quantities that they would get from just eating meat. I mean, are we starting to get a picture here, people? Human beings need meat. Fucking hell. Vitamin K2 helps to regulate calcium in our bones and brains. It can help prevent heart disease, and deficits in vitamin K have been linked to Alzheimer's disease. Vitamin K2 can be predominantly found in meat products. Choline or choline, whatever, helps maintain the structure of cell membranes, which is responsible for memory and mental clarity. Deficits in choline can lead to cognitive impairments and problems with concentration and memory. Our bodies make a small amount of choline, but most must come from food, most of which comes from animal products. These all come from animal products abundantly, by the way. I forgot to mention that. Iron helps our cells generate energy, fight harmful pathogens, and circulate oxygen throughout the body. Iron, of course, is very highly found within animal products and indeed in certain waters you can buy, but you can get it from a vegetarian or vegan diet if you take it in high sufficient quantities from mineral supplements. Iodine is necessary for synthesizing thyroid hormones, which are critical for brain growth and development. Fish, salmon roe, and eggs are all good dietary sources of iodine. It can't go without mention that for so many of these essential vitamins, beef liver is the most abundant food source available. Take a look at how beef and beef liver stock up to some tried and true superfoods. There's a table here that you can look at if you really want to. Then it shows you how a carnivore diet is better than a herbivore one. Given that 9 out of 10 people eating a standard American diet, whatever that is, are missing key nutrients, it seems like just about everyone should be shifting to a carnivore diet that clearly provides adequate nutrition. Yeah. I think we've got enough on that one, right? Yeah, well, move on to the next one. This is a different website that's been involved in some scientific studies and things, right? Are humans carnivores? Sorry, vegans. Yes, we are. Similar to a high-performance vehicle, we're designed for specific fuel to run properly. That fuel is red meat. That's why the carnivore diet is effective. Now, I will point out here before I go any further that a strict carnivore-only diet should only really be done short term. Because, yes, it is very beneficial for humans to be purely carnivorous, but there are certain other vitamins and minerals that we may require that simply eating only meat will not provide. Vitamin C, possibly, for instance, vitamin D, even. So, you know, a strict carnivore only diet would only be good short term. I know a few people that have done carnivore diets for about 6 months and their health has actually improved. What does that say to you, people? If you can eat a strict carnivore only diet for 6 months and your health improves, then surely human beings are not meant to be vegetarians or vegans, are they? Because obviously that 6 months you eat only carnivore only diet, your health should deteriorate, not improve. So that should say a lot to these fucking pro-vegan morons out there. Now, that's why a carnivore diet is effective, right? And this is important because the closer our diet is to what we're evolutionarily adapted for, the healthier we'll be. Because hunter-gatherers, great contradiction in terms, were not brainwashed by the disastrous USDA recommendations, they ate what they were supposed to: red meat. They were remarkably healthy as a result. Studies of the remaining hunter-gatherer societies in the 1900s, which obviously still weren't alive by that point, well, some of them might, I don't know, showed them to be generally free of the signs and symptoms of cardiovascular disease and other so-called diseases of human civilization. That means that small tribes that we only barely discovered over the course of human history, that have never really met a person like me ever in their life, were existing on a purely carnivore-based diet with possibly the odd bit of fish or maybe some shellfish, maybe the odd bit of fruit or vegetables here or there, right? But mainly living on meat, much like our ancestors did fucking thousands upon thousands of years ago when we first walked on this planet as human beings. They are thriving by living purely, almost 100% carnivorous. And they don't have any of the fucking problems that we have because we eat a lot of fruits and vegetables these days. Without consistent access to animal source foods, as in meat, why it calls it animal source foods, like it's trying to be technical, right? Without consistent access to animal source foods, we would not have evolved into the dominant blog reading, Twitter trolling, and highly social primates that we are today. And now we require those nutrients. The funny thing is that without eating animal source foods, we never even would have developed the capacity to question our diets and disparage meat in the first place. So why are humans carnivores? The genus Homo, from which humans belong, evolved from animals that consumed substantial amounts of plant foods. Our ancestors in the early great apes diets largely consisted of fibrous plants. Many people mistakenly believe that we're herbivores too because we evolved from these creatures. In 1997, a number of researchers studied the diets of gorillas to better understand our dietary needs. Gorillas, a herbivore species, consume a macronutrient profile that at face value looks like it largely consists of protein and carbohydrates. But when you account for the fiber digestion, it presents a completely different picture. Out of every 100 grams of plant matter gorillas consume, about 74 grams is fiber. Gorillas have large sesoms and colons which house bacteria that ferments the fiber into short-chain fatty acids. When you account for this fermentation process, it turns out gorillas actually get 60 to 70% of their energy from fat. The distinguishing factor between humans and our primate ancestors is our brain size. Not all of us were blessed with that adaptation. Between 6 million and 2.5 million years ago, our brain size was fairly consistent. Since then, it has quadrupled in size. According to, sorry, I'm going to murder your name, Viljammer Stephenson, in his book or thesis or whatever, The Fat of the Land, the forest lands turned into dry prairies around 2 million years ago from climate change. Okay. The pre-hominid diet of fruits and seeds would no longer suffice. The cooler grasslands made plant foods more difficult to procure because of their seasonality. Some pre-hominids just turned to lower quality plant foods. To be fair, this was the easier approach, and none of us are immune to this laziness. We've all scavenged the fridge for low quality foods when we're too lazy to shop for groceries. But fossil evidence shows that by 1.2 million years ago, these ancestors of ours died out. Other, let's call it more entrepreneurial hominids, fucking hell, found new ways to survive and obtain sufficient energy. These more enterprising humans, or human ancestors rather, started to hunt and scavenge for higher energy animal products. Their brains started to grow. In this period, from 1 million to 500,000 years ago, is when a substantial part of our brain's growth occurred. But our brains are still extraordinarily energy intensive. They're only 2% of our body weight, but they use up to 20% of our resting energy. According to anthropologists, to provide enough energy to grow our I'll speak English in a minute. According to anthropologists, to provide enough energy to grow our brain, we had to give up something else. We traded in our colon size and our ability to ferment fiber into fat to increase our brain size. This gave our brains the necessary energy to grow. In this regard, hominids, like felines, have experienced a reduction in gut size and metabolic activity, along with a concurrent expansion of brain size and metabolic activity as they included more and more energy-dense animal foods into their diet. Our digestive system also adapted and is more similar to a wolf than it is to our herbivore ancestors. We are no longer adapted to digest substantial amounts of fibrous vegetables and starchy carbohydrates. This is a big reason why so many people have leaky gut and related health issues. Humans need animal foods for energy. We needed more energy to fuel our increasingly large brains. We could no longer get that energy from fiber because we couldn't ferment it into fat. Our smaller colon prevents us from doing so. During our evolutionary journey into the sapiens we are today, there were some plants growing here or there, but most were extremely fibrous and we couldn't convert that fiber into fat for energy. To make matters worse, there were around 500,000 years of ice age where plants did not consistently grow and we hadn't yet invented fire. We needed a consistent source of energy, which plant food couldn't have provided without fire and a large colon. The most available source of energy were gigantic animals, megafauna, that lived in the time. These animals' fat fulfilled our energy needs without carbohydrates, fibrous vegetables, and overpriced smoothies at our disposal. I love the jokes, I love the jokes. Productivity hacks aren't just a modern phenomenon. Hunter-gatherers tended to eat more of the foods that provided a higher return of calories versus the time required to obtain the food. Therefore, we hunted a lot of animals because it was quicker to hunt, kill, and eat the animal and get a lot of calories out of it than to go looking for days and days and days for plants that may not be there and wasting thousands of calories in the process. Pine nuts, for example, provided less energy than a rabbit and frequently took longer to obtain. It was a total waste of time to spend the day searching for pine nuts when rabbits were easily available. That's now going on to like the essential nutrients that was mentioned in the previous ones. So here's the last one. Eating meat is thought by some scientists to have been crucial to the evolution of our ancestors' larger brains about 2 million years ago. By starting to eat calorie-dense meat and marrow instead of the low-quality plant diets of apes, our direct ancestors, Homo erectus, took in enough extra energy at each meal to help fuel the bigger brain. Digesting a higher quality diet and less bulky plant fiber would have allowed these humans to have much smaller guts. The energy freed up as a result of smaller guts could be used by the greedy brain. The brain requires 20% of a human's energy when resting. By comparison, an ape's brain requires only 8%. This means that from the time of Homo erectus, the human body has depended on a diet of energy-dense food, especially meat. Fast forward a couple of million years to when the human diet took another major turn with the invention of agriculture. I'm not answering that fucking door because I'm in the middle of recording the video, so whoever it is can fuck off. I'm not here, fuck off. Fuck off! Oh, there's no more information on that one anyway. So yeah, I think I've quite categorically proven to anyone who's a fucking moron. Human beings are carnivores and we are meant to eat meat. We are designed to eat meat. We are required to eat meat. Meat provides most, if not all, the essential nutrients our body needs. So can you moron vegetarians and vegans stop looking down your noses at people that eat meat, thinking you're morally superior to people that eat meat, disparaging those that eat meat because it's the murder of animals when it's not the murder of animals, because murder is when one human being kills another human being, and stop trying to look down your noses at us just because you chose to cut something out of your diet that your body actually fucking needs. And the reason that you're a bit fucking mental in the head is because you cut out what your body needs in its diet. Idiot. Human beings, much like several other big carnivorous animals in the world, are designed to eat meat. So can we also arguing about this shit? Stop pulling up your bullshit studies that are published by people who are very pro-vegan and pro-vegetarian and don't really give a shit about whether humans are meant to eat meat or not. They just want to push this narrative that humans shouldn't eat meat and can live perfectly well without it when they can't. Not unless you have a lot of mineral and vitamin supplements to go along with it. If you want to eat a fucking meat-free diet, then you fucking go ahead and eat one. But don't make me feel bad for not choosing your stupid lifestyle choice. It's much like religion. If I have a specific religion that I follow, I shouldn't then be trying to force other people to follow said religion. I shouldn't be looking down my nose at them for not following such religion, and basically should just get on with my life and let them get on with theirs. The only difference between whether you eat meat and whether you follow a certain religion is human beings are meant to eat meat, as I've just pointed out over the last 30 odd minutes. There are several more studies that you can find just by a simple Google search. You have to cut through the bullshit, that's being pushed out by the pro-vegans and pro-vegetarians, including companies like PETA, that are trying to twist the facts to push everyone into a meat-free diet, trying to say it's healthier not just for humanity but for the world as a whole, which it isn't, because if we don't keep these animal populations down, they will overbalance the ecosystem and there'll be a full ecosystem collapse. We all know that. We need to eat these animals. Granted, we do farm specific animals just to eat them. Cows, chickens, pigs, right? But if we didn't eat them, what would we do with them? We just release them into the wild, do we? And then in a few fucking generations, animal generations, not human generations, well, maybe even human generations, there are so many fucking cows and chickens and pigs and deer and all the other meats that we suddenly stopped eating, fucking running rampant, or the carnivores are dying, right? Because the ecosystem is totally overbalanced or underbalanced, however you want to say it, right? And there's a full ecosystem collapse because we're not eating the fucking stuff we're supposed to be eating. And if you want to bring religion into it, I don't know if I've mentioned this in this video, I think I mentioned it in the previous one. If you want to bring religion into it, especially Christianity, the Bible says to eat meat. So get fucked. If you want to bring that argument into discussion, we are meant to eat meat. I mean, screw religion and all that side of it, and just look at the biological, evolutionary facts, as I've previously mentioned over the last 30 minutes. Human beings, as we evolved from the previous human-like species, have evolved to require meat as the primary part of our diet. That makes us a carnivore. We choose to be omnivorous. We can eat plants, we can eat, fruit and vegetables, we can eat nuts, we can eat anything that's not meat, but we still need meat. And as that previous thing said, I think it was on the first one I read, we can survive but not thrive on a meat-free diet. So you can barely exist but not really be truly healthy on a vegan or vegetarian diet. You need meat. I need meat. We all need meat. Every carnivorous species on the planet needs meat, and that includes human beings. To deny yourself that and to attempt to deny other people that is stupidity, ignorance, folly, and very damaging to your health, be that physical health or mental health. and the health and well-being of not just yourselves, but your children, especially during pregnancy. Now, the vegan teacher put out a video a while back, I'll come back to her now, saying that a vegan diet while pregnant is perfectly fine. If you check my previous video, which was a random bollocks, which technically this is too, I suppose, I point out from information that I got from a proper actual scientific study that eating a strict vegan only diet during pregnancy is harmful to your child and harmful to yourself and can cause all kinds of problems with regards to trying to have said child. The information is out there, fucking listen to it. Human beings are carnivores, we need meat. So next time you tuck it into a bacon sandwich and some vegans like, that's murder, they shouldn't eat animals, they should have vegan. Just tell them to shut the fuck up and stop denying what they are. A carnivore. And I think that's all I have to say. So, yeah, thank you all for watching. Please pass this out to all your vegan friends so they can actually get to know the fucking truth. And, well, pass it out to anyone, I suppose. Anyone who's ever questioning what human beings are. We are carnivores. We always have been carnivores. We always will be carnivores. And that is that. So I'll see you in the next video, whatever that will be, or the next live stream, whatever that will be, and whenever it will be, I suppose. Not just whatever, but whenever. And thank you all for watching. Thank you, Jesse, once again for joining in on the live stream and putting a whoa. So, yeah, from the beginning of the film, video rather. And it's quite a joke. And I'll see you all again quite soon.